Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Wednesday, hump day. Thanks for joining me. God is good. Highly favored. Amen. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is a 3-part compilation video pertaining to the Surfside condo that collapsed a few weeks ago. The death toll is at 95. Also, a mother is in custody, suspected in the deaths of 2 of her daughters down in Florida. The young girls were found in a canal. African-American children, sisters, found dead in a canal, and an update pertaining to Summer Wells. I will go live later to discuss the said interview done by the bio donor of Summer Wells, the father, Mr. Wells. I will be back on a little bit later with a possibly lengthy video pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells, but I will give you a small update in this said commentary this afternoon. Thank you so much. Hello, Dime a Dozen. God bless all of you. Thank you so much. This month marks 2 years the Queen has been on the YT, and 1 year, almost 1 year partnership with YouTube. I want to thank you all for the kind words, donations, being in the chat, commenting. If you have any comments you would like to leave pertaining to any stories, please put them on the said post in my community board. Amen. Thank you all so much for joining me. Excuse the background. Somebody's playing music outdoors. Strange people. Thank you all so much. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to bring you information pertaining to Surfside. Thanks for joining me. Hello, Jessica. How you doing? Waiting for it to upload. Well, I guess it'll start here in a minute. Thanks for joining me. I don't know.
What's up with
oh, okay, commercial. Thank you. Hi, Jessica. Thank you so much, honey. God bless you. Hello. Hello, A5. How are you? This source is ABC News if you need verification for the storyline. 1 second. Just waiting for the ad to play. Thank you. IG, Big Sexy 71.
Condo building that collapsed in Surfside, Florida. Documents show the pool deck and underground parking garage needed repairs back in 1996, just 15 years after the building was completed. Problems included extensive cracks and waterproofing issues. 94 people are confirmed dead after the collapse, and 14 are still missing.
Okay, that's the set information from ABC. As you see, they're just saying that there are issues with the pool. 1996, that's a long time ago. And as I told you, there is a professor who has done some studies on the building, I believe a year ago, and found that the structure had issues. Cracking. Pool deck garage ceilings of collapsed Surfside building were problematic as early as 1996. Documents show there are at least 95 confirmed deaths from the collapse. This was uploaded today at 6:07 a.m. A series of construction permit records, letters, and other documents from more than 2 decades ago show that Champlain Tower South was in need of waterproofing and structural repairs in the parking garage just 15 years after the original construction of the building. The documents released by the town of Surfside, Florida on Tuesday show that the pool deck of the Surfside condo building that collapsed last month, the ceiling of the underground parking garage beneath it had needed repairs as early as 1996. The scope of work will be concrete structural repair in the parking garage, wrote Rob Summer, sales manager for Western Waterproofing Company of America, to the Surfside Building Department in March 1996. This type of repair entails removing loose concrete overhead, treating steel rebar with rust inhibitive coating, and patching back with repair mortar. Also included in the garage will be urethane foam injection and sealing cracks. Tong Lee, the project engineer contractor for the repair work, estimated the project to cost roughly $156,600. Later in November 1997, Lee wrote to Surfside's building department that the deck was waterproof and that approximately 20 square foot of spalls in the ceiling of the garage had been repaired. Lee wrote that the repair of the spallings had been done in compliance with the approved regulations. Now, mind you, this is a letter written to the building department of the Surfside in 1997, November, and it was a sales manager for the Western Waterproof Company to the Surfside building department came to fruition in 1996 of March. So we're talking about a whole year later and a few months. And allegedly he's saying that things were done and were approved. This Mr. Lee, that the spallings had been done in compliance with the approved regulations. Now, mind you, that was 15 years ago. Lee did not respond to ABC News' request for comment. ABC News previously reported that a 2018 structural field survey report released by the city of Surfside found major structural damage to concrete structural slabs on the pool deck and failed waterproofing in parts of the tower. Now, this is what's sad. If this man says that he did the correct job to this building, the garage, the pool, whatever, in 1996, why do we have a report in 2018 that had major structural damage? So you're talking about from 96 to 18. That's a many years later. It's not good. It's not good at all. As I state, ABC News previously reported that a 2018 structural field survey report released by the city of Surfside found major structural damage to concrete structural slabs on the pool deck and failed waterproofing in parts of the tower. In his report, engineer Frank Morabito said previous repair work in the garage had been ineffective. Alan Kilsheimer, an engineer hired by the town of Surfside to investigate the collapse of the building, cautioned against directly linking the repair work from 1996 and the deficiencies cited in Morabito's report, telling ABC News that it's not yet known if they were referring to the same specific areas. Engineering experts offered differing views on how concerning the repair work from 1996 was and how it could have contributed to the building collapse. It is not normal, said Joel Figueroa Valanis, an Orlando-based forensic structural engineer and president of SCP Engineers, of the documents. Generally, the life of a structure is much longer than that. Life cycles of concrete structures can be over 50 years, so this is very concerning. When you look at this said article, oh man, I'm telling you, this area view is mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing because when you look to either side, you see a building. I don't know if it's what building this is. There's cars parked in this other building below. On the other side, to the right of this photo, are palm trees and possibly an upper deck of somebody else's building with swimming pool and jacuzzis. So imagine now living next door to this facility, well, this ground now, looking over at all the debris. And I'm telling you, looking at this view from the sky is appalling as hell. And I want you to check it out. It's ABC News. The title of the video, the article is Pool Deck Garage Ceilings of Collapsed Surfside Building Were Problematic as Early as 1996. The picture in this damn photo will blow your mind. And there's also another photo that's showing the excavators digging through the pile of debris. And I'm telling you, it's high with a big machine that's, it's got the claw to pick up everything. The view is horrible. I can't even begin to explain it to you. And I can only imagine if I was down there on the ground, how horrific it would truly look, having a bullseye view of it being on the ground. It's just terrible. Figueroa Valens told ABC News that cracking can reveal structural issues and added that whenever there's cracking on concrete, there's stress where it shouldn't be. The fact that there were a lot of cracks on a structural slab, that tells me that something was going on in that pool area, said Figueroa Valens, on top of the fact that the pool area is the highest loaded area of the whole building. Meanwhile, Kilsheimer said the damages and repairs described in 1996 permit documents are normal and expected, especially in Surfside's environment, where buildings are prone to heavier corrosion from the adjacent seawater. Shane Carnera, a Chicago-based engineer expert, told ABC News that the deficiencies in repair work cited in the 1996 permit documents are not common, but also not extremely rare. This type of concrete deterioration does not usually lead to sudden catastrophic collapse, but there is a lot about this collapse that is unusual, if not unique. Crews are continuing their recovery efforts after the remaining parts of the partially collapsed building were demolished last week. So far, there are at least 95 confirmed deaths from the collapse. As of Tuesday morning, 85 of those 95 victims have been identified. There are still 14 people potentially unaccounted for, Miami-Dade Mayor Daniela Cava said at a press conference Tuesday. ABC News is the source for the said information. Thank you all for joining me. What are you all talking about? I don't know what y'all talking about there now. 95 confirmed dead. Difference of opinions on what brought the building down. Is it the elements from the seawater? The flooding that was inside of the basement, the parking garage? Nonetheless, however you want to word it, argue over it, the point is the damn building fell down, and buildings just don't fall down. And then you have to ask yourself, from 1996 to 2018, that's a little stretch. That's a big stretch. Hell, 2000 to 18, that's 18 years right there. Counting to 4. So you're talking about 20-something years. Somebody does a report in 18 to show there's something wrong with the building. So even whatever they repaired, you mean to tell me this person went in and didn't want to try to get all their money's worth by telling them, hey, you got this wrong, you got this wrong. That's their chance to make their money, to show you what everything's wrong in the building. And if they don't believe what the person is saying, then they go get a second opinion. It's just an issue of somebody took the cheaper route. I don't know. But I'm like this person in this article. They just don't fall down. Because if that's the case, New York would be rubble. Chicago would be rubble. Philadelphia would be rubble. Washington, D.C. would be rubble. You know, I'm naming all places that have major skyscrapers. There would be no New York if we were to go here and just think the buildings fall down. Jesus. Prayers for the families. Prayers for the first responders. Lord have mercy. Here's my next commentary pertaining to Surfside. Thank you all for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. All donations are accepted. Channel 10 News is the source for this article. 14 people remain unaccounted for, mayor says. A baby was also identified as a victim. Lord have mercy, help me, Jesus. Whew, wow, this is bad. Just waiting for the content to upload, you guys. Hold on one second. It's a commercial plan. Thank you so much for joining me.
Today, after an additional victim was recovered,
I don't know. They're overlapping articles. Hold on a minute. I don't know what's wrong with this thing.
To the Surfside tragedy on this 20th day after the collapse, the search and recovery operation continues. And what was here's a look at all the victims identified.
It was a very somber day.
I don't know why this thing is not. All these articles are lapping over each other. They've got I don't know why they got all these videos in one queue, which makes no sense. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna go back out. See if I can come back in and play it again. Sorry for that. Thank you all for joining me. Yes, the death toll is at 95. And a baby was also found in the rubble.
In Surfside, the death toll now reaching 95 people today after an additional victim was recovered and identified in the rubble. Here's a look at all the victims identified. 85 so far after days of digging by crews. Let's go now to Local 10 News reporter Syra Anwar. She's live in Surfside with the very latest at the site there. What's happening out there today, Syra?
So, Christy and Janice, the recovery efforts continue 20 days after they started. We were told this is the very last joint media briefing that will be happening here at the command center. And while these daily media briefings may come to an end, the recovery work resumes.
Our teams have recovered an additional victim.
The recovered victim count now at 95 as search and recovery operations continue in Surfside.
We've now moved over 18 million pounds of concrete and debris.
Mayor Daniela Levine-Cava saying today's crews may experience weather delays yet again.
And although the sun is shining right now, we can anticipate similar weather patterns to what we had yesterday.
Surfside's mayor addressing the investigation into the collapse and the study at the Champlain Tower North.
While we wait for the crime scene investigation to conclude and get the green light to access the collapse site, we are spending most of our time now poring over the North's plans and doing forensic studies on the many samples and data that we have obtained from that property.
The fire chief saying the majority of vehicles were recovered from the pile, but not all, meaning there is still the threat of fires like this one crews saw yesterday.
Our fire trucks and equipment have been around with hose lines and different products just in case we do need to suppress any fire. So definitely a concern.
And you're now looking at a photo of Aishani Jia Patel. Her body was recovered last week. She was recently identified as a victim in this collapse. And back out live, yesterday the Lieutenant Governor did announce a website, a new resource for Surfside families, connecting organizations that are willing to provide resources to families with families who are looking for those resources. It's surfsideassistance.com. We also have a link to that website on our website. That's local10.com. That is the very latest live in Surfside. Syra Anwar, Local 10 News.
Okay, everybody. That's the set information. From 10 News, local. As I state, the death toll is at 95. A baby has just been retrieved out of the rubble. When you open up this article, you will have this video and the said photograph of a very beautiful young lady, Miss Patel, who is no longer with us, and she is holding an infant child. So I'm assuming the body that they retrieved last week was Miss Patel in the rubble, and yesterday, they pulled out her baby, a very beautiful child. I will bring you the said information. Surfside collapse, death toll up to 95. Baby identified as victim. 14 people remain unaccounted for, the mayor says. An additional victim was found in Surfside condo collapse rubble over the past day, raising the death toll to 95. Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levine-Cava said Tuesday morning. Of those victims, 85 have been identified, and next of kin for all 85 have been notified. 5 more victims' identities were publicly released by Miami-Dade police on Tuesday afternoon, including a baby. Aishani Jia Patel, 1, recovered July 6. Andres Levine, 26, recovered Sunday. Moses Rodan Brief, 28, recovered Sunday. Mercedes Fuentes Orgeles, 61, recovered Sunday. Raymond Orgeles, 61, recovered Sunday. Levine-Cava said 14 people remain potentially unaccounted for. I want to stress this is truly fluid, she said. We can only account for a person who may be deceased once the identification is made. So that list of 14 includes 12 where missing persons reports were filled with the police department and 2 other reports that detectives are continuing to try to verify. Levine-Cava said identifying victims has become increasingly challenging in recent days. As this step in the recovery process, we're relying heavily on the work on the medical examiner's office. She said, it's a scientific, methodical process to identify human remains. Okay, hold on one second. This work is becoming more difficult with the passage of time, although our teams are working as hard as they can. It takes time. Officials said Tuesday morning's news conference from near the condo site. was the last one planned at this time, though they will continue to release information as it becomes available. And as I state, you can watch the said news conference in the said article. More than 18 million pounds of concrete and debris have been removed by 892 trucks since the June 24th collapse of the Champlain Tower South, Levine Cava said. Rain and lightning have also been an impediment to the recovery efforts. The Miami-Dade Water and Sewer Department has been pumping water out of the lower levels of the collapsed site. Crews also had to put out a fire sparked by gasoline from one of the cars buried in the pile on Monday. Miami-Dade Rescue Chief Alan Kaminsky said the majority of vehicles have been recovered from the pile, but not all of them, so those fires remain at risk. The recovery crews working the rubble have also been finding personal possessions, including some as small as rings and jewelry. The work is so delicate that we're even finding unbroken wine bottles, Surfside Mayor Charles Burkett said. He said because of the information families have provided, search teams often know what to look for in the specific parts of the pile. He held up a photo of a ring that was found in the wreckage, which researchers believed it would be. They're expecting to find these things, and in this case, they did, Burkett said. Imagine that, a ring so tiny, and all of that madness that came down initially and what they brought down by detonating the building. Have mercy. Police have added manpower to the site to ensure those personal belongings are recovered for the families. And Burkett said Monday that discussions are underway about what will happen with the future of the condo collapse site. Some residents who escaped the disaster want the tower rebuilt so they can move back in. Huh? Okay, I'm dead. Others want some kind of memorial site. We want the families to tell us what they want to see, Burkett said. I'm looking forward to having those discussions. Oh, Lord have mercy. Officials have said it could still be a couple of weeks until the crews finish the recovery mission. In the meantime, an engineer hired by the town of Surfside to investigate the cause of the collapse is looking for clues in the building's twin Champlain Towers North. So as I state, the information is coming from this source, Local 10 News. They have now ventured over to Tower North to see what they can find over there. If there's any remnants, identifying remnants such as what happened over at Tower South. So let's pray that Towers North is in better shape than this one. Yeah, I'm dead too. I don't know what I'm listening to. This article is very long. As I state, they're looking for clues in building's twin, Champlain Towers North. We're just understanding how the building was put together in this north building, which will help us understand a little bit better in the south building, Alan Kilsheimer told Local 10 News. Resources. Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunez said that the website surfsideassistance.com has been set up so people can apply for help if affected by the tragedy. Those wishing to donate to help the impacted families can click here where it says this in the article. And there's also another click here for more coverage pertaining to this situation. There's more videos in here. The debris is astronomical. Of course, nowhere near what we went through on 9/11, but nonetheless, it's still a structure, and there are dead people in there. Dead people were in there. Their belongings, their effects, their memories. And you're talking about pulling out people from the rubble, plus also gathering anything that looks like it belonged to a person in mint condition, such as a ring, jewelry box, whatever that item may be. Prayers for the victims, families, first responders, the community, those displaced from the building. As I said, this is a daunting, horrific task to be in this predicament. Because if you survive, you now have to make provisions for yourself. And did you all ever think about you have to prove who you are? Nobody thought about that, did you? Because this is when people start scamming. Hate to bring this up, but we're going to go ahead and keep it kosher over here and copacetic. This is when people start scamming the government. Because all somebody needs to know, find out that you lived in that building and start pretending to be you and getting aid, money, funds, because it has happened. It's happened with Katrina. It happened with the fires of Gatlinburg a few years ago. People were running up there getting money from the state and the government, pretending that their house had burnt up on top of that mountain, up the hill from me. And they didn't live nowhere near Gatlinburg. They weren't a resident of Gatlinburg, but they got that money. And they also got their tails caught too. Because guess what? There's one thing about Uncle Sam. He might mess up and give you a check, but he will start digging into whatever he gave you and realize he gave it to the wrong person. Amen. Thank you all for joining me. Prayers for Florida. Right now, I'm going to bring you more horrific news out of the state of Florida, and then I will get on to my brief information about Summer Wells. I will do a more in-depth video about Summer, because there's so much going on with this child. I mean, you can't even keep up with the stuff. It's just ridiculous. Right now, I want to talk to you about 2 African-American daughters, children, sisters found in a canal down in Florida. Thank you all for joining me. We're going to start with the first article. I'm going to bring you different versions of this story because each article news outlet will have a different version than what Pookie Ray Ray got on their network. So I'm going to bring you different versions of commentary so we can tie together what the hell happened with this heifer and these 2 little girls. And I just want to say, I don't know what the hell's going on out here, but I see now the children are public enemy number 1. Sadly. KCBD 11 is the source. Mom arrested weeks after 2 girls found dead in Florida Canal. This was uploaded on the 14th. Today. Officials say a 36-year-old South Florida woman has been arrested weeks after the bodies of her 2 young daughters were found floating in a canal. Tanessa Hogan was arrested Tuesday night on 2 counts of first-degree murder. The bodies of Destiny Hogan, 9, and Daisha Hogan, 7, were found June 22nd floating in a canal in Lauderhill near Fort Lauderdale. Residents in the area had told investigators that Hogan had offered to baptize people in the canal a day before the girls' bodies were found. Destiny's body was spotted on the afternoon of June 22nd. Hours later, authorities found her sister's body nearby. That is said information by KCBD 11. I will bring you another source that has more information pertaining to this child, these 2 baby girls dumped in the water. I don't know what the hell's wrong with their mama, but she obviously is not mentally stable. Hold on one second. I'll bring you that said information. I can pull it up. Hold on 1 minute. Thank you all for joining me. People Magazine is the source. Same information. I'll be skimming over everything. Mom who allegedly offered baptisms in Florida Canal named person of interest in the death of 2 daughters. So I might be backtracking a little bit because this is June 24th. The article I brought you just now is the latest update. The mother is in custody in pertaining to the 2 children found in the canal. So I'm backtracking now with the information. So please bear with me. People Magazine is the source. People.com, excuse me. Lauderhill Police Lieutenant Mike Bigwood identifies the girls as Daisha Hogan, 7, and Destiny Hogan, 9, and their mother as Tanessa Hogan. Police in Lauderhill, Florida, have identified the 2 girls who were found dead in the canal on Tuesday, hours apart. Okay. I'm going to skim over because I don't want to read everything that I already read. Okay. The body, it says Daisha's body was recovered just after noon, and Destiny's body was recovered shortly before 9 p.m. So they were hours apart when the children were found. Lieutenant Bigwood revealed the sisters were last seen with their mother, identified as Tanessa Hogan, at around 5 p.m. Tanessa is now being looked at as a person of interest, and know that this is an older article. She is in custody as I speak. She was a person of interest at that time of Daisha and Destiny's death, police said. She allegedly was offering baptisms in the canal that runs behind a condominium complex on the day her daughters were found. She was in the canal, Lieutenant Bigwood said. She was offering to baptize people in the neighborhood. Several witnesses reported to Alice that they were offered a baptism by Tanessa. She was in the water swimming. She said she had a Bible, and she told me to come here. I said, why? She said she wanted to baptize me, neighbor LaWanna Johnson told CBS Miami. She says, God told her. I say, God didn't tell you anything. Shut your mouth. Lord have mercy. I'm dead. Another neighbor, Marie Williams, told the Sun Sentinel that Tanessa offered to baptize her children in the canal, but she declined. Investigators revealed on Wednesday that Tanessa is in custody, but she hasn't been arrested or interviewed at this point. She is not in the community right now, and we're not at liberty to say where she is, Lieutenant Bigwood said. The mother hasn't been questioned at this point. On Tuesday, police said Daisha's body showed no obvious signs of trauma. However, Destiny appeared to have pale white hands, and there was a white substance on her face. Oh, Lord have mercy. An autopsy is being performed to determine the cause of death, officials said on Wednesday. Police are now asking for more help from the public in the investigation. Any knowledge of the family dynamic, activities that the family engaged in together, just general information about who they were and what their day-to-day life was like would be extremely helpful, Lieutenant Bigwood said. He added there were no missing persons reported from any family members, no prior incidents regarding the mother on record, and the girl's father has been estranged from them for at least a decade. Daisha was last seen wearing blue jean shorts and a gray shirt bearing the word dance in rainbow colors, and Destiny was dressed in a gray shirt with 3 cartoon-style women. It was not immediately clear how long the girls had been in the canal or whether they were connected in any way. Anyone with information is asked to call Broward Crime Stoppers at 954-493-TIPS. You can tip anonymously at 954-793-8477, which is 8477-TIPS, or report it anonymously online. This is by people.com. To recap what I've just brought you, 2 children who are sisters, they are African American, were found in a canal down in Lauderhill, Florida. The mother is in custody, a Tanessa Hogan, as the suspect in the children being discarded in the water. One child was found with white substance on her hands and face, while the other child, who was first dumped, did not show any obvious signs of trauma. Daisha Hogan is 7. Destiny is 9. The children were put in the water hours apart. So that leads me to believe she knew what she was doing, because if I want to believe that this heifer is schizophrenic, she would have took the girls together and tried to drown them or dump them one after the other, such as what the Yates lady did out in Texas many years ago. She methodically took each child to the tub to drown them. She didn't wait, go eat some Cheetos, watching Days of Our Lives, jump back up, take another child to the tub. You all see where I'm going, okay? All right. She had forethought. We will see what happens with this case, because this is a very baffling case out of Florida. Very baffling. This is by AJC, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. This was updated the 24th of June. And as I state, she's in custody, the mother. The mother has been taken into custody after the bodies of her 2 daughters were found hours apart Tuesday along the canal of South Florida, according to multiple reports. Tanessa Hogan was being questioned by authorities as a person of interest in the case, but so far no criminal charges have been filed, according to the Miami Herald. Investigators are also looking into reports that Hogan was spotted a day earlier swimming with her girls in the canal and carrying a Bible while offering to baptize her neighbor's children, the Herald reported. So now we get information that she was in the canal a day before, pimping the Bible. Yeah, I said that. Y'all know how I rock. Why are you in the water with the Bible? I'll wait. Why are you offering to baptize other people's children? Who the hell was going to let you dip their child in the canal? Is this lady crazy? I don't know. It was the last time the girls were seen alive, this article states. I guess today she was trying to offer to baptize other people's children. Their bodies were found the next day, more than 8 hours apart, in the same L-shaped canal in Lauderhill, reports said. They were identified as 7-year-old Daisha Hogan and 9-year-old Destiny Hogan. And this says, we have a Twitter tweet in here pertaining to the CBS Evening News. Let me see.
Police in Lauderhill, Florida announced they have a person of interest in the deaths of two sisters who were found floating in a canal, and that person is their own mother, Tanessa Hogan.
She was contacted by police. She is not in the community right now.
They've identified the sisters as 9-year-old Destiny and 7-year-old Deja. Neighbor LaWanna Johnson discovered one of the bodies.
It shocked me. I froze. Then I started to cry.
The gruesome discovery happened around noon yesterday. Destiny's body was found first, and about 8 hours later, her sister's was discovered about 500 feet away in the same canal. Witnesses say she was wearing flowered pajama pants.
We are definitely treating it as if it was a criminal investigation.
Officials say they are still awaiting results of autopsies on the girls. They are unsure when the sisters ended up in the water, but believe they've been there for some time.
We're hoping that the community reaches out and helps us put some context to how this may have happened.
Police say the mother, who was not immediately taken into custody, never reported the children missing and that they were last seen together 2 days ago. Tonight, neighbors have been leaving items at a small memorial here for those two sisters. Nora.
Manny Bojorquez, thank you.
That's CBS Evening News. You can get that said commentary off of Twitter, at CBS Evening News on Twitter. Destiny's body. Destiny is the older child. She's 9. Daisha's 7. So the mother put, I guess, Destiny down first. That's why I believe that she knew what she was doing, because the children were found hours apart. And as I state, you would naturally, a schizophrenic person, they don't have any control over what the mind is telling them. They're just going to do whatever. This lady had to go sit and wait and do something in between the hours after she dumped the first child. So as I state, she did not dump the children one by one. The children were found hours apart from each other. Oh, man. Now. I'm live.
Yeah, I know. Her cousin is in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, Lieutenant Nina Rose 46.
Okay, so what does she want to come up to say something?
She might, I don't know. I'm going to ask her on
okay.
In the chat.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you. Lord, on my live. Come on. Yes, prayers to the family member who is allegedly is in the chat. If you'd like to give commentary, I will drop the link for you to hit the link. Destiny's body was spotted just after noon Tuesday, and Daisha's body was found just before 9 p.m. about 500 feet from her sister near the Habitat 2 condominium in Lauderhill, according to the Sun Sentinel. The canal runs directly behind the homes located on Northwest 21st Street, not far from Florida's Turnpike. On Wednesday morning, Lauderhill Police Lieutenant Mike Santiago said detectives had developed very strong leads, but acknowledged investigators had not developed any suspects in the case. Hopefully by this afternoon, we should have a lot more information, he said, according to reports. After detectives knocked on doors in the neighborhood and asked the public for help, Hogan's name surfaced along with reports of her being seen in the canal Monday evening. The first body was found floating in the waterway about noon Tuesday. Neighbor LaWanna Johnson said she called 911 after seeing the girl's body. It shocked me. I froze and I started to cry, she said, according to CBS News. From there, detectives walked the length of the canal behind the community, but did not find anything else. About 8:45 p.m., police received a second 911 call reporting the second girl's body, which was spotted further northwest in the same canal. The first girl was wearing jean shorts and a gray t-shirt with the word dance in rainbow-colored lettering, police said. The second girl was wearing a tan top and flowered pajama pants, police said. There was no early indication of trauma or foul play, which initially stumped investigators. We can't determine at this point if they're related because it's just a juvenile was just found, Santiago said at a news conference Tuesday night. However, detectives are trying to piece the puzzle together. Residents in the area say that they perhaps saw the first girl in the neighborhood in the past and that another girl may have been with her, but police were uncertain whether the second girl was the other child found dead. Police were able to obtain photographs of the family, which they used to ask neighbors for more information. The family lived in the area, and the mother, believed to be in her late 30s, was known to neighbors by the name Precious, according to Lauderhill Police Lieutenant Mike Bigwood. There were no records of child welfare workers ever responding to the family's home, and the girls were never reported missing. If you need verification for this said information, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Is she wanting to talk or not? I need a yes or no. Is that a yes, Air Force, or what? Two sisters found in the canal in Florida. If you're just coming into the chat, the mother is in custody and law officials are not verifying where she is, which leads me to think that perhaps she's in a mental facility being evaluated. See if she can stand trial, be competent to stand trial pertaining to these children. An autopsy has not been revealed. This is very, well, I'm moving on. I don't have time for this. Lord have mercy. This is so terrible. Florida's just getting the brunt of all chaos like everywhere else. I'm going over everything to make sure I brought all this information to you all. Let's see. I'm going to skim over something from News 6. Hold on. Is she going to come up or not? Okay, I'm not trying to be rude, but I can't look at that and read the stuff that I'm trying to do. Hold on. Thank you. I see you, honey. I see you, A5. I got it. Thank you. Hold on, you guys. One second, please. Thank you. Just bear with me 1 minute, please. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to Everyday Shenanigans. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Get everything situated. Ma'am, if you don't mind, we would like to see your face if you don't mind, if you can. Just for verification purposes. Because we have a lot of hanky-panky stuff that goes on around these parts. Okay. Hold on 1 second, you guys. I didn't think this live was going to go this long. But there's so much information to bring you. I wanted to bring you various content pertaining to the children. Wait a minute. 1 second. All these letters. Okay. No, I don't have an email. Don't pay me no mind. I could be a little rough around the edges. It's not intentional. It's just when I'm trying to do so many things. That's why I said I can't read the chat and read the information at the same time. So I didn't know. I can't verify who was saying what in the chat and what you all were talking about because I couldn't read. I wasn't reading it. Let me top out and finish before this young lady joins us. As I state, the woman was offering to baptize people, okay, in the canal a day earlier. Lieutenant Mike Bigwood identified the sisters during a Wednesday evening news conference. 7-year-old Daisha Hogan, 9-year-old Destiny Hogan, and the mother's Tanessa Hogan as a possible person of interest. As I say, this is older content. She is in custody at the moment, but no criminal charges have been filed that time. This is at a condominium complex behind, in Lauderhill. Mercy. Daisha's body was found before 9 p.m., not far from where the first body was located. Okay, hold on a minute. I'll bring you up here. And then they said authorities did not suspect foul play because the first girl showed no signs of trauma. After the first was found, detectives walked the length of the canal that runs behind the Habitat 2 condominiums, but did not find anything else. Then at 8:45 p.m., police received a 911 call from someone who spotted the second child's body. First girl was wearing the clothes that I told you all she was wearing. This is just a very baffling story. And you all can get the information from Channel 6 News, my other source. I have with me thank you, Joe, for the super chat, a lieutenant. This is Miss Nina Ross. Hello?
Yes. Hi, guys.
Are you a law official, ma'am?
Yes.
And where do you work, ma'am?
Volusia County Jail.
Okay. And you're a lieutenant at the jail for the police department, or give me your rank and tell me who you are. I can go from there.
I'm sorry.
Just give me your rank and who you are, so the chat will know.
I'm a lieutenant at the Volusia County Jail in Daytona.
Okay. And what is your relation to the story?
She's my cousin.
Which one? The mother?
Yes.
Well, set it up for us.
Well, actually, I hadn't seen her since our grandmother passed 11 years ago.
Okay.
And I was saying in the chat that she's always been erratic and a little crazy, but never, to this extent, never, have I seen her like harm a child or anything, because she was, just so loving to my son, who was always around, her and my grandma at that time.
Okay, so tell me how your child was at the time when you last was in company of your cousin.
How my child was?
How old was your child?
He was 11.
So how old is your child now, ma'am?
22.
22. Let me ask you something. Do you have a close knit family?
For the most part, yeah.
What side of the family are you related to her on?
My mom.
So that's your mom's sister.
That's my mom's sister's daughter.
Your mom's sister's daughter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does she have mental problems that are on record that you know
of? Not that I know of. No.
What do you think made her do this? If she's actually a culprit.
You know what? I can't even say. We don't know what make people, do things that they do.
But that's why I was asking if she had any mental problems on record.
You know what? She might not have had any on record, but I've seen her, act like she ain't, like she's not stable.
Okay, well, give me the last time you saw her act erratic.
Well, when she decided that she was going to try to, put her hands on my grandma, and I had to get on her ass. No, we're not doing that.
What set up the situation for me?
What it was that day, my grandma called me and she said that that Precious, that's what they call her, Precious, nothing precious. But anyway, that she was, she was cursing her out and, just basically just threatening her because she told her to get up and clean up her house. Like you were living there. You didn't have a job, she was taking care of you.
Well, how many did she have children at the time?
Huh?
Did she have children at the time when she was staying with your grandmother?
No.
So she was younger.
Mm-hmm.
About how old?
Oh, like shit. Not even 18.
Okay, so how old is she now?
She's 36.
Okay, so I don't think I saw that. So we're talking about a 36-year-old woman, wants to live with your grandmother, didn't want to help out, and did she put her hands on your grandmother?
She did that maybe this happened like 2 weeks before my grandmother passed. Okay. Because she passed at home. a choking incident. From what they say that she choked on a sandwich or something.
I see. Who all was living in the house with your grandmother at the time?
She was her brother. He's still here. He's a doctor.
Wait, the brother. Okay, so the brother of your cousin.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 kids were living there with the grandmother.
Yes, it was him, her, and my son. He didn't live there, but he was, he was there most of the time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So was your grandmother ill? Did she need a caregiver?
No.
So she didn't have a caregiver. She had a few of her grandchildren living there with her. Were there any other altercations between any of the other children and your grandmother?
I'm sorry?
Were there any other altercations with any other in the house?
Yes,
so
her.
they treated her well.
Yeah.
So how long did she live with your grandmother?
How long did she live though?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh God. She had been living with her for, I'm gonna say, for the most part, mostly,
her life.
All her life.
Okay, so where's her mother?
She's here, child, please.
Okay, but hey, I gotta ask.
That comment right there should have let you know.
I gotta ask these questions because you on the panel, you're related, so we gotta get an idea of who this woman is or was at the time.
Right.
Possibly she drowned her own children.
Absolutely.
So, would you say that she had a problem upbringing to get to your grandmother's house?
No. And the reason why she lived with her is because her and her mom couldn't get along, and she's named after her mama.
Okay, so she and her mama didn't get along. So, do you even remember the age that she went to stay with your grandmother? Okay. Would you say like 5 or 6 age or 10?
She might have been. She was older than that.
Older than 10?
Yeah, I'm gonna say about 12. Something like that.
Preteen. Okay, I got you. Where's the baby daddy?
I have no idea.
Oh, the article I brought, one of the articles I brought, that's why I brought different content because each article will have something different in it. One of the articles stated that the baby daddy had been missing in action for about 10 years.
Yeah, clearly. You see who their last name is.
I don't know none of these people now.
they got the same last name. They mom. Come on now, Queen. You know what that means.
Come again?
They got the same last name. They mama, Queen. You know what that means.
They were cousins.
No. He ain't want nothing to do with it.
Okay. So
yeah.
Do you know if he has any other children?
I don't even know him. I don't even know him. Okay. But my dealing with I don't even know how you even made 2 kids with her, let alone 1.
Oh, now, Miss Nina. So, what do you think? She has mental problems?
I absolutely don't think this is, a mental problem. I really
so
don't.
She was in the water allegedly asking people to baptize them and the children, 2 people to climb. So, what are we talking about? She fell off. She's a religious fanatic and or schizophrenic. No. What are we talking about?
And they kept saying that she, that her neighbors said that she was like religious.
Yes.
Precious is not religious. Okay, let's just get that clear. She's not religious.
You said you hadn't seen her in 11 years, Miss Nina.
Listen,
I ain't trying to be mean, but
I ain't trying to get all rated on you.
Huh?
I am not about to get rated up on him.
No, but what I'm saying is, if you hadn't seen her, could it possibly be that she found the Lord? That's all I'm saying.
A lot of people claim they find him, but I mean, you don't have people around here doing crazy stuff like that. I mean, it happens, but like, come on, like I was a part. You knew what you was doing. Like, come on.
So that's what you're saying, is that you believe she willingly drowned her children?
Absolutely, because how do you murder one child and then hours later do the other one? Come on.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I felt like she knew what she was doing because of the time frame. They found the children hours apart. Okay, let me ask you something. They said on one of the girls they found white substance on her hands and her face. What do you think that was?
I don't know. I know my son, he actually just called me before he went to work, and he said that what he was told that somebody had saw her before this even happened with her daughters, and he was like, why wouldn't y'all, call 911 then, before her daughters were even, murdered?
Okay.
If y'all saw her acting crazy or acting, strange, why wouldn't you, report it then?
Okay. So what do you think acting strange was? Or did they say?
What happened?
When they say she was acting strange, exactly what do they mean by that?
He just said that they were saying she was acting weird and talking out of her head, stuff like that.
And nobody.
And I'm like, what you mean talking out of her head? He was like, just, he said like, people that talk to themselves. I was like, oh, okay.
That's why I said maybe she had a mental problem, but you don't think she has no mental problem?
No, absolutely not.
So she just talking to herself to be talking to
herself. That thing ain't crazy.
Okay, ma'am.
But when you go to jail, you play that card. But listen, them girls didn't deserve that, and you had ample time to get some help or ask somebody for help before you decided to take their lives in a span of hours apart. It wasn't right back to back. So you had time to think about what you did.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do.
So I'm not feeling sorry for you. I don't care if she my cousin or not. Wrong is wrong. You murdered those kids, and you deserve to get what you get. She's charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Period.
Okay. How far is your location where you live and work versus where she is? Because I see it says Lauderhill, Florida. How far?
Yeah, she in Lauderhill. I'm in Daytona. So maybe I'm gonna say because my sister live in Lauderdale. That's by Lauderhill. So that's like 3 hours, maybe I think 3 or 4 hours
from you.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 3 hours away from you. Okay, and you said you haven't had no contact with her in 11 years.
No, none.
Why?
That's why when I saw this story come through my phone, I actually learned of this today.
Okay, may I ask you why you haven't had contact with your cousin?
After my grandma's funeral and everything, like we just, I was never like close with her like that.
So, people are gonna ask that because you're saying that's your you all shared your mothers were sisters, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so people might question, well, why weren't you all close? Or why
right.
Her? So did you not grow up around her?
No.
Okay.
No.
Gotcha.
Because I'm from here. I was born here. And like after, we were born, my mom took us to Lake City, Florida. Okay. Don't know if you ever heard of that.
Okay. Is that
by Jacksonville?
Okay, up at the top.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So we was there for, until I came to Daytona when I was 15, I think.
Okay.
And I'm 46 now, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So where is her mother right now?
That crazy bat here.
Now, Miss
she
Ross
is crazy for real.
Well, maybe that's where she got it from. You know what that old.
You know what? Hey. And she is so crazy because she didn't even, have no relationship with her child.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of.
Yeah,
is the relationship between the lady, the suspect, your grandmother, her mother. What was her life like growing up? What has she been doing all this time? What?
And that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know because I haven't, had, communication with her.
The mother.
Huh?
The suspect's mother is in the state of Florida living.
Absolutely.
When was the last time you saw her?
The last time I seen her was on Facebook.
Oh Jesus! So y'all Facebook friends?
Look, I ain't even see her. She just commented because I said happy birthday to my son, and she commented, and that was it. Because me and her don't get along.
But are you two Facebook friends?
No, hell no. I don't like her.
Okay, so you haven't spoken to her since you found out today of the crime.
No.
Interesting. And when did your grandmother pass away, if you don't mind me asking?
She passed away 11 years ago. She passed away a week before her birthday. Okay. Which was May 27th.
Oh, Shay Doc, somebody asked this. I was thinking this, but I wasn't gonna ask it. Somebody wants to know, do you think she has something to do with your grandmother's death?
I don't know. I really can't. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, because I ain't really want to go there. But anyway, so no contact with your cousin. Didn't really grow up with her. Weren't really close. You haven't talked to her mother, seen her mother, just through a Facebook post. Wondering what her mother is thinking.
Who knows? Ain't no telling. Like, because like I said, like her mom, like she batshit crazy for real.
Okay. Do you know
See,
what
I
she was
can
doing
say
for a
that.
living? Do you know if she was working or not?
Precious?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, you're welcome here anytime because I always continue the story. I don't just bring the video or content to the chat. I
Right. I
keep
watch the
up.
channel all the time. I'm a
Oh,
big
do you?
fan.
Okay. Thank you so
Yep.
much. So I will finish it all the way to the very end. Wherever
What I'm
that.
gonna do is I'm gonna talk to her brother
Oh yeah.
and see what I can, see what I can find out, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
get
just
back to
message
you on
me.
that.
Anybody related to her personally, you all can reach out to me on my IG, which
Okay.
Big Sexy 71. It's probably not a
Okay.
good idea to say it out loud, but I don't have any choice. But that's the
Ain't
only way
nothing
people.
wrong with that.
Well, it's a problem with like once I drop the IG, I've had problems, and it's now it's not really a personal IG for me
Oh,
because
okay.
it's flooded with all type of stuff, and it ended up getting out of control once I gave
Yeah.
that out months ago with the Cal City situation and nasty
Right.
messages and things, and really it's not my own once I start getting buttloads of messages and things that really I just don't have time to indulge in.
Yeah.
And so that was a way for people to reach out to me when I didn't have the link to drop as what you're on
Right.
right now. But
Okay.
if you want to reach out to me through that so we can talk personally, and
Okay.
any brothers, sisters that want to reach out to me to tell me what was going on with Precious, I would
Right.
appreciate it. And I tell
Okay.
you, her having that name got me sitting up here like, oh Lord,
Child.
mercy. I got a feeling that she's probably in a mental war. What you think?
Well, she, they took her to the hospital because she was acting, erratic, but
Yeah.
she's
I got
been
that.
charged.
Yeah, I saw that. So
Yeah, she in custody, honey. So yeah, you got crazy all you want, but no,
Lord have
absolutely
mercy.
not. Because like I said, she could have, if you needed help, you could have, reached out for that or said something. You didn't have to go that route and then hours apart. You know better. If you killing your kids hours apart, come on, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's where I have the problem is because as I stated, and most of you all remember the Yates story, she went methodically, one child to the other,
Yeah.
to the bathroom. So it wasn't like she went and sat, watched TV, jumped up, took another child to the bathroom, sat back down, mowed the grass, jumped up, took another child to the bathroom. She went and got child for child for child for child.
Right.
And dumped them in the bathtub. Drowned the children. I believe one survived, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. It's been a while since I read the tapes on that book, but it was a very interesting story. But my thing is the signs were there all along, and I put part of the blame on her husband because my thing is this. If I leave you in the morning in your nightgown and I return home and you are still in that nightgown and you haven't done anything, that will lead me to believe there's something wrong with you.
Absolutely.
In the same clothes, which is a nightgown, as when I left you before I went to work. And he admitted he knew she had problems. She had been taken to the psych ward at the hospitals, facilities. He knew something was wrong with her. My thing is, there's something should have been done long before what happened to those babies.
Absolutely.
The signs were there. But see, what I'm worried about with this story is this. If Precious didn't have no immediate family or good friends, how it's going to fare with her in court and everything, because that's what they're going to ask is who's her family? What's her family dynamic like? Did she have people checking on her? Did people see the signs and they turned a blind eye?
Right.
And that's what I'm wondering now. Who was her connect?
Right. I don't even know, why she moved there. I don't know if she knows somebody there because as far as I know, we don't have any family there. If we do, I don't know.
I understand. Okay, so she just moved there, I guess, to have a place to stay for her children.
I guess because she's been here all her life in Daytona, so I don't know why she moved there. I don't know.
Okay, this is terrible. You know this is terrible.
Yeah.
This is terrible because this is no different than the story I brought you all the other day of the black girl lady who dumped her child in the Chattahoochee River up in Georgia.
I didn't hear about
she did it
that.
in front of people, so that let me know she didn't give a damn.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, what could make anybody harm these children? Like, I don't get it.
They check out, baby. You see, I say this all the time, and it's what I keep saying. It's the snitch rule. It's the I don't want to get in people's business. It ain't none of my business. I ain't gonna tell it. Although I see a child running around all damn day and night outside doing stuff they ain't got no business, hair ain't combed, clothes dirty, begging, hungry.
Right.
But I don't say nothing. But I got something to say when they make the news and they find the baby dead.
Oh yeah, they the first thing on the screen crying and I should have, it's too late then.
Yeah, or severely injured because mama got crunk one night, drunk one night, high one night, or her company done something to the children, babysitter, whatever. And my thing is, you don't have no business saying nothing.
Right. Because you didn't say nothing when, they were here.
And you can call anonymous. That's what I don't understand about people.
Absolutely.
You don't let people know you call 911 or CPS. You can make anonymous call to say, hey, I've been seeing this child on 15th Street out all day, unclean, begging for food, whatever you saw, and let them work it out.
Right. You're right.
Lord have mercy, Jesus. I thank you for Miss Ross. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'm pray for your family anytime. I'm gonna pray for your family. And you know how to reach me to talk to me. And if you get an update or anything, just call me. We'll go live and let you bring the 411. If any other family members want to reach out and give testimony to who she is and what she was doing in her life before the babies were found, I will be humbled and let you come up and share with
you. Well, I'm gonna talk to her brother tonight.
Okay.
And see what he knows, see what I can find out from him, and I'll definitely hit you up and let you know.
Yes,
so I can keep y'all updated on what's going on.
Yes, and anybody out there listening to this video, if you are a neighbor or friends with her and knew what was going on with her, just contact me on IG, Big Sexy 71, and let me know what was going on with her, and we'll bring you up and you can tell us what you know about her last moments with her children and what she was doing and how she was living, because somebody knows something about this young lady, and I just think it's sad that there was no family around if they weren't.
Yeah, I don't know nobody in Lauderhill at all.
Okay, so you don't even know why she moved there.
Because like our family, from what I know, is here. Okay,
and you're down
in Daytona.
Daytona. Okay, about 3 hours. Jesus, this is strange. This is strange. Then I tell you what. Now I'm wondering what the baby daddy gonna think. Shut your mouth.
Okay, child, please. Nothing. Nothing.
Well, let's
see. His name is not even, attached to this. So who even knows who he is?
We wondered if she was getting child support from him, because naturally, if she was getting any type of aid from the state, she would have to file his name for child support, perhaps. So I wonder if he was paying child support for his children.
It's all gonna come out.
Yeah.
He's in the dark right now.
Yeah. Well, that's what's going to come up next. They're going to find him. I already know that's where that's going. The news reporters are going to go look for him. They're going to try to find him. They're also going to be talking to people that lived around her. They also going to be trying to look for y'all too. Some of you family members.
They're not coming knocking at my damn door asking me nothing. Ooh, don't come here asking me no questions.
And then the most not baffling, but the worst part, besides the death of the children, who is going to pay for the funeral for both baby girls?
Exactly. That's the only thing I care about at this point. I don't, I'm not too much worried about her.
So whoever sets up the GoFundMe page, tell
we're not going to do all that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Contact me and I'll put the said information up on a community post. So anybody that wants to donate to a legitimate GoFundMe for the children's burial services, we will.
I bet you her mama better not put it up because I'm gonna report it.
Okay, well, however,
Yeah,
But
because she ain't child, please. She ain't been that girl mother, and she ain't been no grandma. Child, please.
okay, I got
Don't
you.
go
Well,
putting up no doggone money for them kids, and you didn't even,
right. I'm
child,
saying
no.
that's the reason why they tell us to be leery about GoFundMe. But
Exactly.
somebody's gonna have to set one up because you're talking about burying 2 kids.
Absolutely.
So I will wait to see if it'll be you or whomever to put up the GoFundMe, and then I'll post it to my community post, and I also mention it during my lives. Every time I go live, I will mention a GoFundMe, a legitimate GoFundMe, and so that the chat or whomever's watching the videos on YouTube can donate money to get these babies buried, because they're gonna have to be buried after the autopsy.
Absolutely. It's more than likely probably gonna be, her brother, the one I told you is a doctor.
Oh, he's a doctor.
So,
Shut
he's
your
a
mouth.
doctor.
How old is he?
Darren is 38.
You said, are you saying adopted or a doctor?
A doctor.
A doctor, physician. Wow. Where does he live?
Here.
He's in Florida too. Farther down from Lauderhill.
Huh?
Is he further south or north?
He's here in Daytona.
Oh, he's in Daytona. Wow. Well, please tell him to call the queen.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah.
He was unstable for a while, but you see how that turned around.
What you mean? When he was young?
Mentally unstable for but he had like a tragic event happen to where he got he was doing that.
Eventually he'll hear this video.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you tell the doctor to call the queen.
Yeah, he'll talk to you.
Okay, he can give me any information he want to tell me about his sister and what was going on with her, and his opinion and whatever they want to do about setting up a GoFundMe, if there even will be one. Just tell them to call me, and I will bring the information to the YT. I thank you, Miss Ross, for joining us.
Thank you so much, Queen, and thank you everybody in the chat for your prayers. I appreciate it.
Yes, honey, and because y'all show needed that. Y'all Florida getting it bad right now.
Oh God, are we?
I mean,
we're taking L's left and right.
Turn around, but that's the point. Bad things happen everywhere.
Yes. We going through that thing. I'll tell you about that later, but you know the name Otha Wallace.
I do not.
The one that shot the police here in Daytona and ran to Georgia.
No, you have to school me.
He was a part of some militia.
I have to pull it up. It up.
Yeah, you'll see it. Then you'll be like, okay, I know what she's talking about.
Oh Lord.
We taking L's left and right.
What part of Florida was that?
It happened here in Daytona. The officer name is
there was no calls
Jason
for CPS. There were no calls on the woman with law officials or CPS. Nothing. And I brought. Thank you, Miss Ross. Call me later or whomever. Tell your brother how to reach me, and your family member. Tell me how to reach me, her brother, and we'll go from there. I'll bring an update, whatever he wants to discuss pertaining to his sister.
Okay.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Bye-bye.
Bye, baby. All right. That was Lieutenant Ross, who is a cousin to this lady who is now in custody pertaining to the deaths of her 2 daughters who were found in a canal down in Florida. Their names are 9-year-old Destiny and 7-year-old Daisha, 2 little black girls who are no longer living now. And Tanessa Hogan is the responsible party at this moment. She is in custody, and I got a feeling she's probably in the mental part, maybe. I don't have any updates, but that's the said information. I want to thank y'all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. I'm going to go ahead and get started on my information pertaining to Summer Wells. I will be back on and pertaining to the interview that the father gave. This is the latest information pertaining to Summer that was uploaded yesterday and today. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Hopefully this will play.
To the day since Summer Wells was reported missing from her home in Hawkins County, this evening people gathered to pray for her safe return.
News Channel 11's John Janko shows us the sights and sounds of tonight's prayer circle.
Members of the Tri-Cities community came to Borden Park tonight to pray for the safe return of Summer Wells.
Right now, I think we just all need to kind of come together and kind of just pray over the situation. God's angels are already surrounding.
Candace Wells attended the circle with one of her sons. She declined an interview this evening, but she did say that no law enforcement has contacted her this week. Members of the crowd offered their condolences to Wells.
There's so many people out there praying for her and praying for people all over the world. Yes.
It was a night of emotion.
And she prays for her every night when she goes to bed. That she's safe and that she gets to come home soon.
Coupled with praise,
Jesus right there when it looks like hope is lost. We're gonna find out.
I wanted to sing some songs that brought encouragement and just to give hope and know that there's hope in Jesus.
For Summer Wells. But we don't know where Summer's at, but we can call upon God. He knows. Amen.
We believe hope is what we have, and I believe that's what God has given us. And we just want to spread this hope because I've seen God do so many great things, and we're believing He's going to show up in this situation.
All right, that's a set of information by the YT. WJHL is the source. If you need verification, the title of the video is Community Gathers in Kingsport to Pray for Safe Return of Summer Wells. That is source number one, WJHL. The next set of information is uploaded content that came on the wire yesterday, but uploaded today. Sorry, I keep getting notifications. Sorry about that, you guys. WJHL is the source. As I stated to you guys, it's a weekend now with day-to-day updates pertaining to Summer Wells. Every waking day, there is a video uploaded to the news, articles, and it's very strange because when I look at all the children that have gone missing in America and all the leads that went nowhere, you never got an update every waking day, but yet no person of interest, no arrest, no evidentiary material brought forward, no sightings of the child, sightings of the kidnapper, abductor, whomever. I find this very odd and baffling. I do not know if this is a race issue or if it's because WJHL don't really got nothing to talk about up there near that holler. And of course, this is a major story. A child is missing. But what I'm trying to explain to you all is that other children go missing every day. Other people go missing every day. And you do not get an update every waking day. Although there are no leads. But you understand what I'm saying. No update every day. So as I stated, as someone mentioned, is this a race issue? Or it's just WJHL? They don't really have a lot to report because, you know, it's rural America up through those parts. So this is their major story at the moment, which we know this is a major story. News 11 is the source. TBI official calls lack of tips or lead in Summer Wells' disappearance frustrating. An official with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says the lack of tips or leads in the case of Hawkins County 5-year-old Summer Wells is frustrating. In a video update posted by the agency on Tuesday, TBI Assistant Special Agent Charge Shelley Smitherman said, when a child goes missing, investigators typically have an idea as to how the child went missing. This is not the case with the Wells disappearance. Now, TBI has a Twitter link in this video, and it is the same commentary I brought you yesterday with Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson speaking. I'm not playing that. I'm just going to tell you that they have 935 tips that have been received in the search of Summer Wells. And in this said article I'm reading to you is a Twitter video pertaining to Mr. Lawson speaking, the sheriff, and his commentary I already brought you yesterday. Summer Wells has now been missing for a month. The circumstances leading to her disappearance remain under investigation. We appreciate your continued interest in the case and assure you that the hashtag Tennessee Amber Alert issue for Summer will remain active until she is located. This was uploaded yesterday. I'm going to play audio from Shelley Smitherman.
The ones that I've been involved in since I have been over this program, within a couple of days, we have a tip or lead or have an idea if they've been abducted, if they may be left into the woods. Somebody saw something that leads us, hopefully, to get an answer to where the child went or if they were taken. We're going to have some tip or lead. And that is the frustrating part for law enforcement in this case and for the public. We will continue to investigate and search for Summer. In the public side, there may not be as much media attention given to this case, but that does not mean that we stop what we're doing. We will continue to use every resource we have that we can utilize to try to find Summer.
Okay. This was an Amber Alert issue for Summer Wells, age 5, 1-800-TBI fine, 3 feet in height, weight 40 pounds, hair blonde, eyes blue. Last seen Rogersville, Tennessee. Typically an Amber Alert, and the ones that I've been involved in since I have been over this program, within a couple of days, we have a tip or lead or have an idea if they've been abducted, if they've been left in the woods, Smithers said. Somebody saw something that leads up, hopefully, to get an answer to where the child went or if they were taken. We're going to have some tip or lead, and that is the frustrating part for law enforcement in this case and the public. It has also been said that it's a financial burden for the agency. Hawkins County Sheriff discusses all of Summer Wells' case on his office in the said article. Smitherman said investigators will continue to search for Wells. Wells was reported missing on June 15th in the Beach Creek area of Hawkins County. As of July 9th, Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson said no singular persons of interest have been identified in the case. If you need verification for this information, WJHL. So I'm going to say this delicately. No one has been identified as a person of interest, but everybody is a person of interest. Let me repeat that again. Nobody has been identified as a person of interest, but everybody is a person of interest in the disappearance of Summer Wells. Well, I don't know. As I told you with an Amber Alert, it is only issued when there is identifying information pertaining to the child. That means a person was seen, a car was seen by someone with 2 eyes, 2 feet, 2 hands, and they can relay that said information to law officials. That is the only time an Amber Alert is issued in the disappearance of a child, abduction of a child, however you like to word it. As you see, a prayer vigil was given up in Kingsport for this child. There was only a handful of people there, not a lot, which I find interesting. Where were all the people at? The biggest cities in that general area is Johnson City and Kingsport. For those of you who do not know, it is called the Tri-Cities. The population is not the size of Knoxville, Tennessee. For those of you who don't really know anything about Tennessee, I'm going to break it down to you. The major city in the state of Tennessee is Memphis, Tennessee, number 1. Number 2 would be Nashville. Number 3 would be Chattanooga. Number 4 would be Knoxville. Number 5 would be Johnson City. And Knoxville counts also the county as its population. So you see, the biggest city in this state is Memphis, demographically African American. Mixed Nashville, mixed Chattanooga, but more blacks in Chattanooga. As I've stated, cheaper to live. People migrate from Florida, Georgia to Chattanooga. Cheaper to live. You can cross over 2 hours. You're down in Atlanta, Georgia. Go shopping, come on back home to your quaint life in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Not much going on in those parts, Eastern Tennessee, close to the Virginia state line. For those who are not familiar with Hawkins County, Sullivan County, Kingsport, all those places, you're right close to Virginia, North Carolina. For those who are not familiar with this demographic, thank you all for joining me. So right now, this story of this child missing is the hottest story besides Evelyn Boswell, which touched down last year. And her mother is suspected of killing her and storing her in a storage shed. And now we have this story here. I don't know what you're talking about, baby. Prayer vigil yesterday, 25 plus people at least were present, which I find baffling because, as I state, there's enough people in those parts that could have came out had they been posted properly to an outlet where people could show up, such as one, Facebook, because y'all love Facebook up there, and TikTok, and the news. So if I wanted people to come out for the child, I would have went to those avenues. I would have planned it properly, taken the information to the news and say, hey, here is a memo. We want people to come out to this prayer vigil for this child. I just find it interesting that there weren't a lot of people there. That's very odd to me. Very odd to me. What's not odd is the fact that Candy Cane didn't want to speak to the news. Well, you see, Candy Cane, you don't mind posting things to social media. Your husband has now become the walkie-talkie for this case and continuously talking up on top of that law book, number one. You won't stop talking. Now you've done an interview with somebody, and I listened to that interview last night, and I will play that interview tonight on the next live pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells. And I will possibly mention something that somebody shared to me pertaining to somebody who's watched the body language of the interview between the Wells. It was a very interesting commentary. I kind of zoned in and out of it because the guy who was giving the commentary has a foreign accent. But nonetheless, I listened to what he had to say. And once I began to focus on listening to what he said, he had some interesting points pertaining to that interview with them outside the house they done a couple weeks ago. Very, very interesting. I'm trying to pull it up. The name of the video on YouTube is Are Summer Wells' Parents Telling the Truth? You will see a man sitting in a suit with dark hair in front of a logo that has 9 minutes, 58 seconds on the logo for the video if you have the patience to watch it. It is an hour, 30-minute video, so it will take time out of your day if you decide to partake in watching the video. He has a foreign accent, so discretion advised if you want to partake in watching the video. I watched it last night because I was doing other things while listening to it on my TV. During this video, you will see the man stopping the interview and dissecting every movement made in the video by Candy Cane, and her husband. Every eye twitch, shoulder movement. He was on his game in the video. He watched meticulously for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Pertaining to this. A lot was said in that commentary. And what I picked up the most is the blinking of the eye, using past tense in talking about the child. And let me tell you, people do use past tense in speaking, which it doesn't look good or sound good. But when I went to Sheena Kyle's prayer vigil, one of her friends spoke and she used past tense. So, one could say it isn't really an indicator of guilt, but it depends on how you weigh it. Everybody's perception is different. But what I found baffling, besides the eye movement, shoulder movement, nodding the head at the wrong time, such as your mouth says yes, but your head says no, vice versa. using past tense in every situation, even talking about things that happened in the past. And that's the guy who's doing the analyzing says, it is normal to use past tense when you say, yesterday she went to the store. Well, went means past tense. But when you're talking about the person's attributes, it should be spoken in present tense, such as, she likes to dance. She likes to sing. You see where I'm going? Okay. The fact that they were more concerned about the neighbors. Mr. Wells made that clear. He talked about the neighbors excessively in the video. He also said he felt sorry for the first responders. So the guy who's doing the analyzing says, why in the world would you be feeling sorry for the first responders? They're looking for your child. That's their job. You should be talking more about your child. The fact that they did not identify Summer as Summer. It was her and she. Stay woke. And I thought that was odd too. She did. She was the boss. Not she is the boss of the house. She is the boss of her brothers. She was the boss. Stay woke. Everything was she, her. Never identified Summer as Summer. Summer liked to play outside. Summer likes to swing. Summer likes to swim. Summer likes to present tense. Everything was her, she, past tense. Stay woke. Only concerned about the neighbors, what they were doing to offer help. Yeah. First responders, I feel sorry for them being out here, blah, blah, blah. Mentioning of the dog scent. And as I said, I thought about this listening to my live last night, because I always do a replay of my live and I listen to whatever was said in the commentary. Nancy made a comment about the child possibly being walked down to the road. Well, you got to remember something. If indeed the child was walked down to the end of the road, as to throw off the scent of a dog for later on, that wouldn't make no sense. I had to think about that, because guess what? If you didn't put Summer in a car, handed her off to somebody at the end of the drive, you had to walk Summer back up. So that means when you did get rid of her, however, hey, who's to say a scent didn't, they have a scent back up at the house? Because you got to think about how you transported her off the property if indeed this is an inside job. So let's say I walked the child to the bottom of the drive as a decoy for the scent for the dog. But then I walked her back up the drive, and then I knocked her off at the house, and I put her in a tub or a bag. Ding, 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 ding. The scent's going to be at the house. All this commentary about dogs in the woods, scents in the woods, scents at the bottom of the drive. I haven't heard anything from law officials about where the scent stopped. And I would find it interesting that that would not come back up in all the commentary that I've been talking about for now 2 weeks or so. It's very strange to me. So I need to get it on audio of something about the dogs going through the woods or the dogs going down to the drive. And that's where her scent stopped. I'd like to hear that from law official only, not the lie book, not the lie book 2, or Mr. Wells. I don't know why he went to the bottom of the property. Well, my thing is you got to start at the bottom of the property to get to the top. So maybe he was looking around down there when he came home. I don't know what's the truth. Like I said, this is a baffling story of a child missing. And as you see, the TBI is letting you know that this scenario of Summer Wells missing is out of the norm. They are accustomed to getting tips, identification, suspects, something. But as they said, they don't even know when, where, what, how. Just a bunch of talk on social media, just a bunch of videos posted to social media. But as I've told you, you can post something to social media, but it does not mean it happened right before it was posted. You can post a video at 10 o'clock in the morning. No, excuse me. You can make a video at 10 in the morning and post it at 5 p.m. But when people open the video, they assume you just filmed that because it's on the timeline. Does not make it so. I don't know. This is a very baffling story. And as I'm coming to see with these stories that I bring to you pertaining to the black lady that dumped her child in the Chattahoochee River in Georgia, the 2 children now being dumped in the canal in Florida, Summer Wells missing out of East Tennessee, Evelyn Boswell, Cal City Boys, Malia Davis, Cupcake, on and on and on. The child is now public enemy number 1. People do not revere children as sacred beings because, 1, they don't revere themselves as sacred. And I tell you this 1,000 times. A person who doesn't care about himself or herself can't care for others. That's the assumption. You had the child, you should like the child. You should want the child. But it doesn't work that way. Because animals breed every day, and at some point, the mother leaves her youngins behind. Now, some would say that's a cruel analogy, but it is an analogy nonetheless. We are beings, but the perception that we are to act accordingly, it's not so. You do what you want to do. And sometimes you do it not giving a damn about what other people will think. Where is Summer Wells? I brought you this short commentary pertaining to Summer because I wanted to hurry up and get it out about the vigil, the prayer vigil that took place yesterday, and that TBI is still issuing a statement through the news that they're still working on the case. It is not a cold case. It is still an open investigation. There are no persons of interest, but yet everybody is a person of interest. Take that with a grain of salt because it is confusing to some. And everything is in the wording and everything is in the detail. I do not know where this child is. My fear is that she is no longer living because it doesn't look good. And as I state, only a fool would have her in their custody. For what purposes? We could think of the worst reason somebody would have a child illegally. But in the end, if it was illegally, 9 times out of 10, she wouldn't be alive for those purposes. And I don't have to discuss those purposes on the network. Use your imagination. So that leaves an illegal adoption. And once again, you would be a fool to have Summer Wells in your custody, and she has now been deemed an endangered child on the TBI's list, an Amber Alert. You'd have to explain why you have custody of a missing child. And what would you say if they come knocking at your door, get a warrant for your house? How are you going to explain why you have this 5-year-old child in your possession? So that's why I said there's no way I would believe she's even alive, because only a fool will continue to keep her if she is alive. Your best bet would be turn her back over, however you got her. Be it they handed her to you, the parents, she was kidnapped, sold, bartered, solicited for unsavory purposes. You get my drift. Best give her back. We're in a sad time right now because there's no love in the city for mankind, period. And the child is just, I don't know, like a commodity. I don't know. There's no love. During that interview, you will see, if you watch closely, Mr. and Mrs. Wells, there's no emotion with these two at all. None. And you will hear that in this man's commentary who is analyzing the body language. Miss Bly Wells' face stays the same the entire interview. She smirks a few times, which he deemed inappropriate. There was no crying, no whimpering, no slinking down in the seat, no bowing of the head in talking about your missing child. Same thing with Mr. Wells. Robotic conversation. Never calling the child Summer, which is odd that you would not call your child by the government name. She, her, as if you're talking about somebody in the street. Him did that, her did that. Speaking in past tense through the entire interview. Worrying about other people, such as the neighbors and the first responders, but showing no concern or empathy or emotion for your own child. Who is Summer Wells? And you never call Summer Wells by her name during the interview. You see, those are the things you have to pay attention to. And that's why I say that there's a lot of things in the cases that we don't pay attention to, such as that. Talking in past tense, referring to the child as him or her, but not their name. Why not? That's your child. Tommy loves Hot Wheels. Tommy loves to go outside. Tommy loves to play in the snow. Tommy loves to climb up and down on things. Tommy is rambunctious. Stay woke. One of the video clips you will see airing on the YT and social media is of them at a water park waterfall. The baffling part about this video is she could have fallen and hit her head. In the video, you will see her slide as if she almost fell climbing the rocks. What fool would allow their child to climb rocks with water cascading down the rocks? You see, one network was saying, we need all these videos. We need all these videos. Yeah, you all need them because you want to play them on your network. And yes, they can be of use to try to dissect the dynamics of these people, their disposition, what kind of people they are, how they interacted with their children, how they talk, how they speak, how they look, how they dress. But the flip side is going through all these videos, digging up all this stuff from Miss Wells' social media pages. For some, it's just entertainment. It's not getting to the bottom of anything. Because everybody is not the same that's peeping around social media. Everyone has a different agenda. Because in the end, Summer Wells is missing. We have no idea where she is. And the search teams are still searching near the property, which tells you a lot without telling you anything. Why are you only searching near her house? Why? Why are you not searching out into the city of Rogersville? Is that because you didn't get information to search anywhere else? Your information has led you to stay close to home. Possibly, I don't know. But that's the feeling I get. Is that the search team is only searching near the house because they have reason to believe she's near the house. Now, is that 1 mile, 2 miles, 3? I do not know. But we'll say nearby. So we'll keep that at a couple of miles and below. When you watch the said video, the interview with Mr. Wells, somebody is driving down a lonely road. And I got flashbacks of a holler I was on pertaining to Chad Carr when I got lost out there in that holler. And I cringed watching that car on that road, which looked similar to what I was on. Just dark pavement and not enough room for another car to come up the damn road on the other side. And the first thing I thought was, look at all of that grass. You could be dumped off right there on the side and nobody would even know you're there. Well, that's the point I'm trying to make. She's never identified her child, obviously, by her government name. And that is a form of detachment when we say him, her. And as I state, I do it in writing my stories. When I'm posting things to social media, you can say her, because y'all don't want to keep mentioning their name in the article or whatever I'm posting. So you'll say her car, her keys, because you don't want to keep saying their name, Mary, 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 every sentence. But this is different. You're talking about your child. So it's obvious these two were detached. Their interviews show that they're detached, no empathy, emotionless, worrying about other people besides their child, never calling her by her name, using past tense, devoid of emotion. And that leads me to think they never cared for her. They were just people who produced children and was just keeping them in tow for whatever damn reason. And that is the very reason why Summer Wells is not visible, because there was no love there in the first place. And I always tell you all that however the people were living before is the reason why they're missing and gone in the first place. Because there was never no love there. There was never no concern there. And that's why she's missing and possibly deceased. We'll call a spade a spade. The baby probably is not alive. And if she is alive, let me say this to those people who were commenting on the news channel. You're praying for her family. Are you possibly praying for the same people that got her gone? Yeah, I'm going to say that. Because some of you ain't woke out there. I brought you the statistics of who gets a child missing. It's usually custodial reasons that children go missing. The reason children get kidnapped is custody issues. Rarely is it a stranger that abducts a child. And if it is a random person, the 3-hour window is important in retrieving the child and getting the child found. Because 9 times out of 10, if it's a stranger, he or she will not keep the child alive because they have kidnapped the child for unsavory reasons, not to raise the child as his or her own. And what is this demographic for how many people have kidnapped children and raised them on their own? I do not know. Because somewhere down the line, the truth has to be revealed that the child was kidnapped by an outside party and raised by an outside party, and perhaps DNA came into fruition that showed, oh, this ain't your baby. So then that raises a red flag to notify law enforcement, such as child needed a bone marrow. And then they realize, well, this can't be her child because they don't have the same DNA, blood linkage. No regard for Summer. That's why she's no longer around. And you're entitled to think what you want. But as I state, if Summer Wells is alive, where would she be returning to? So when you pray for her and you say, I want her alive, I pray she's alive, I pray she's returned, ask yourself, who are you praying for her to return to? You see, I always tell people to think about what you're saying. It's not that I want her deceased, but if she's alive, where is she returning to? Same thing with the Cal City brothers. If we are to believe that those parents were not fit to raise their children, the state took the remaining 4. That leads us to believe the state found something not so great about you to leave you with your 4. Then that means if the 2 show up, would they return them to the said parents and the 4? And the fact that they haven't gotten their 4 back out of California, that should tell you something there too. There's a reason for the season. And these people have custody of 3 boys. Why were they not removed from the house? Why were they not removed? I'm almost at 2 hours. I'm going to check out of here because I want to save all this good Christian talk. Shut up, Queen. For my later live pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells. In that said commentary, I will try to play the video. It is a bit lengthy. I will try to play it in the background because some of you do not like really going to social media sites to listen to everything. And naturally, you cannot keep up with everything uploaded to social media pertaining to a story. You'd have to literally do nothing all day to keep up with various videos, content, interviews, prayer vigils, to know who said what, who shot JR. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. All donations are accepted. Countdown to New Orleans. I'll be out of here by the weekend. God is good. 2 years on the YT this month. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for the kind words, the support for Everyday Shenanigans and the dream. Prayers for Chad Carr, 32, missing out of East Tennessee, black male. Tashina Kyle, 27, black female, missing out of Knoxville, Tennessee. 2 young people missing without a trace. Nobody knows anything except for the people that got them gone. We do not believe that these 2 parties walked away on their own. And it's been over 2 months since Chad Carr has been missing from the foundation, halfway house. And Tashina Kyle's been missing for some time as well. I'd say a good month now. You see, and that is the gist of the story of missing people. You have to have an accurate time or when they were last seen or when someone actually spoke to them. If you can't pinpoint the last time somebody was seen visually or sent a text or posted to social media, you are shit out of luck because you don't even know anything. And I got a feeling that's where this is going because now we're going back to the 13th. So I have to ask myself, have you all been hoodwinked and bamboozled by Candace Bly Wells with the TikTok and Facebook posts? Because perhaps you have been hoodwinked with a timeline. If this was planned, she didn't plan it out thoroughly. Because where she messed up is when she gave conflicting versions to the news of what she was doing on June 15th. Too many versions, too many lies. And that's why she's not talking anymore. Because she is watching these YouTube videos. She is watching your Facebook posts and social media posts. She is hearing the 411 in the street, 211 in the street about what she did and didn't do. So she knows, I best not talk because they're deciphering every little thing I do and say. And they're chopping up everything I do and say. And they're judging me and my family, how I look, how I was raised. And I can tell you that what I've seen in the photographs, it is not to be disrespectful, but y'all look a hot damn mess in them photos. And I'm keeping it 100. And I've seen beautiful people at 400 pounds, 500 pounds. I'm a big girl my damn self. But I carry myself in a dignified manner in the way I wear my clothes. Potty mouth at times. But there's no way in hell I'm stepping outside that door janky looking. I don't rock like that. And the fact that I'm watching women walk around looking like men is very scary to me. Yeah, I'm saying that. The mother looks like a man, the grandmama. Pictures of another heavyset, dark-haired woman in the picture with her. All this has been uploaded to the YT. And now, Candy Cane is looking like a boy by the head. Why? She had long, pretty hair. So this is where I'm confused. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to change your looks. But where I'm confused is why you would chop it off at the top like a man. The hell is going on out there in that hollow? Self-destruction. And a 5-year-old was the offering. Sadly. I want to thank you all for joining. I want to thank the mods. I want to thank Miss Nina for coming up, speaking on behalf of her cousin, who is now in custody for crimes against 2 of her daughters, putting them in the canal. Possibly she murdered these children. She's in custody right now in Florida. This is a baffling story. When I get more information pertaining to this story of this lady dumping those babies down in that canal in Florida, I will bring you the said commentary. I pray that her relatives will reach out to me to give me the 411 on who she is, who she was as a mother and a human being. I will bring you more information tonight pertaining to Summer Wells. I will play the video out where you can hear it. You can decipher for yourself what the hell these people are spinning webs about. And the death toll stands at 95 for the collapse of Champlain Towers South. A baby was pulled out the rubble as the 95th victim. And they're now testing building north to see if it has the same problems as Towers South. Yes, Deborah, I agree. You see, how you walk around and carry yourself says a lot about who you are. You see, and I keep telling you all the same thing. You don't care about yourself, you can't care about me. You'll never care about me. You could never care for me, you don't care for yourself. And if a woman won't comb her own hair, won't bathe, won't put on clothes, got her clothes inside out, that's how you'll treat your children. And we've seen that in photographs of the smallest girl child. There were days when I wondered if she was even a girl somewhere else. And that is also disturbing to me. There are too many photos floating around of Summer Wells looking like a boy. And you damn right, that is grimy as hell. Thank you all for joining me. I will be back later with an update pertaining to Summer Wells and the interview that has now been given by her father to the general public. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Prayers for the missing. Prayers for answers for Chad Carr, Deshina Kyle, Summer Wells, Cal City Boys. Prayers, because we need them. Thank you.